I love to watch cars. I love Teslas. I love riding on the tram. I like to focus on cars. Like, say today I was focusing on Toyota. Oh, there's a Toyota. It's got reversing on. Oh, there's a Toyota. It's got a keyhole. Oh, there's a Toyota. It's got a line for its steering. Okay, like that. My name is Aurora and I have high-functioning autism. I have a make-believe world I call Joy. In this world I have daughters called Fantasia and May.
My name's Prue Stevenson. Welcome to the Spectrospective.
Greg, what's your name?
Guva.
Hi, Greg. How old are you, Greg?
Good.
Are you good? That's good.
Hi, my name's Noah and I'm 11 years old and I'm on the spectrum. This is my little cat Luna.
I am 16 years old and I have an intellectual disability with autism spectrum.
My name's Gabrielle and I'm an autistic woman.
I'm Penny Robinson, or Hoodie Girl.
I'm Morgan.
Hi, I'm Ethan. Thank you for letting me share my story with you.
I guess now I'm going to talk about how I got here and the people that helped me and how I overcame my anxiety and I guess was brave basically.
What does being autistic mean to you?
It means having its challenges and different ways in life, really.
To me, as a carer and as a spouse of someone who is autistic, it means just a variety of colours, a rainbow.
Autism is a spectrum. Our three children are all completely different to each other in their abilities and disabilities and what they can and can't do.
I love the colour pink. A delicious smoothie. It's pink. Very pink.
Greg loves the water. He loves being in the water.
I love doing art.
I love sewing and this is a cow I made last week and it took me a day to finish this whole thing and start it. And I also like tapestry. So this design took me a whole year to do this design.
This is my new double-sided sequin fabric and it feels really, really fun. And I'm thinking of making it into maybe like a wall piece or a hallway where people can just go along a hallway and you know, rub it.
I love blue tacks. Sometimes I sneak them at school. I know I shouldn't, but sometimes it's hard not to.
I'm a warehouse customer service manager. I love my job, but my biggest passion overall is music.
I love giving talks. I must be one of the few people I know who loves to get up on stage.
What's something that you're good at? iPads? No? Anything else? No. Okay. So just your iPad? Okay, cool. Oh, that's right. I thought you may have gone on to Xbox, PlayStation.
Oh yeah, Xbox, PlayStation,
So anything that fits under that technology banner.
iPod, iPhone.
I play guitar, bass guitar, ukulele, piano, djembe, and electric guitar, and I sing.
That's pretty much us. So it's just a little short. Okay, cool.
So basically, I love music all my life ever since I was 3 years old.
So we just thought we'd share that with everybody. So
you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there.
I am an animal lover. I am a friend. I'm a wife. I'm a mother.
My mum is called Stacey Smith and she's autistic just like me.
I'm Noah's mum and I'm also on the autism spectrum.
I'm the mother of 2 really beautiful, lovely, amazing autistic children and there's lots of autism in our family.
Second of all is my dad, and his name is Darren. And he's not autistic though.
And so the three of us live with our lovely neurotypical husband most days.
What do you like about your autism?
I don't really know actually, because there's not really, you can't really know what to like if you've had autism your whole life.
The best thing about having autism is that I had a really good memory and I can remember things really well.
What brings that emotional effect on me is this perfect pitch thing that I've began to recognise from about 15 years old onwards.
Autism is just a different way that our brains work, really. So I guess sometimes we don't quite get what other people are saying. We don't quite understand where they're coming from, and to me it's like, well, it's not very logical, is it? And I guess it's that whole sometimes being that person that just doesn't understand the joke, and because it just doesn't make sense, and that happens with Noah a lot. I don't really get his jokes sometimes.
But my jokes
I think
are
they're just
really
strange.
funny.
So I don't know about that.
She just doesn't get it. Everybody else gets it.
I also like the fact that I'm incredibly honest, and I mean, I'm not tactless or anything, but I will say what I need to say, and I work on one level. I only operate on one level. I find one of the difficult things with communicating with non-autistic people is that they don't a lot of the time, and so there's a lot of hidden meaning going on.
The things that I love and valued weren't generally appreciated or shared by others.
Many of these issues I have about being autistic are about how other people perceive me and treat me. So I do find in cases people can have really bad stigma or prejudice and be really unkind to me. In the past I had a lot of bullying. Now I get people treating me like a child. Now I work full-time in a professional job and have a mortgage, so I don't think I'm 10 years old, but you do get that sadly more often than I would like.
What do you wish other people knew about us being autistic, or you being autistic, really?
I wish they wouldn't, bully me because they think I'm completely different.
It's been a massive journey for me of living with a lot of trauma and shame, thinking there was something terribly wrong with me. Why couldn't I succeed in ways that I really wanted to? Why were people so difficult? Why was work so difficult? Why was the world so difficult?
I had very little self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't like accepting praise.
By the time I get to the end of my day, and I work with animals, and I love my job, but animals can be unpredictable, so that's exhausting in itself, just knowing that you need to be mentally prepared all day long. And then like the sensory challenges.
Another issue I have, which actually is related to autism itself, is overload and meltdowns and things like that. Now I think every autistic person, child or adult, will have that experience of when there's too much going on in the brain. It's like you sort of fill up the tank and then it sort of overflows in a sort of extreme, sort of stressful, unpleasant sort of meltdown, which is really, really nasty, and people don't understand it very well as well. They think it's poor behaviour, or that you're having a tantrum or something like that.
When we're in line to the cafeteria, I would get really anxious and freak out and not want to be in the line, but my friends would not understand why I was doing it.
When the emotions are already high because Noah's had a really big day at school, or I've had a really big day at work, and we come home, we're exhausted, and that's when things start to sort of fall apart.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and that pleased along, but you don't really care for music, do ya?
Since finding out I had ASD, I guess my life has changed a fair bit, but I still feel like me. Just I understand why I think differently to my other friends and that.
My journey is my son was diagnosed at the age of 3, 4 years ago with autism. We were very fearful and scared for him, and he was struggling and we were struggling. We didn't know how to support him and his experience, and it was obviously extremely difficult. At the time it was labelled Asperger's, and that gave me insight into his behaviour. I knew straight away I was on the spectrum. I was diagnosed 6 months ago. I knew my daughter was on the spectrum. She's now 5. Obviously she's a girl. It takes a long time to get her diagnosed, but we did.
Being diagnosed as an adult, it was quite relieving to me because all of a sudden the rest of my life just made sense. And instead of thinking that I was dropped on the wrong planet, all of a sudden I realised that, I do belong here on Earth.
I spent 40 years not knowing what on earth was going on, very confused and very distressed, but now fabulous.
And it's like being able to look into the mirror and knowing who's actually looking back at you.
It is scary, but once you get to know yourself and your children, get to ask them, and or if words aren't their thing, then watch. How do they process the world? How does information come into them? How do they then express what they process? So what are their senses taking in? Is it nice, not nice? Is it meaningful? Is it helpful? Does it work for them? And how do they let you know through their behaviour or their words what is and isn't working?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
About 2 months ago, I got stuck in the lift at the aged care place for about an hour by myself. Initially, I panicked because I needed to go to the toilet. Then I thought, what's the worst thing that'll happen? I'll need to pee on the floor. I immediately started to stop panicking. I had the strategies to cope: sit down, listen to music, and distract myself with several Facebook Messenger conversations.
The first thing I have in my toolkit is the tablet with which I am filming this. It has a micro SD card with some of my favourite TV shows on it, and I find it's really great for when I need to watch a relaxing TV show.
Sometimes the best course of action is to just go separate ways. So, thank the Lord for Netflix. So...
Headphones. This is the most important thing in the toolkit, because if you have a phone or an iPod with you, then it means that I can plug in when it gets a bit noisy, when I'm having a sensory overload or getting stressed.
I find that something that, like knitting, where the wool feels good and my fingers are doing this, it's that really tactile, repetitive behaviour that is helping give me positive sensory input to combat that negative sensory input.
This beautiful song was written by Greg's music teacher Imogen to help him to be able to ask for a break or quiet time whenever he needs it.
I can feel what I need, go back. I can feel like I need to take a break. I cannot quiet time. Half a break and half a break. I can ask for 20 times today.
Greg plays the piano today.
I actually really love that there's so many organisations to help with it. So I go to Interchange on Saturdays, and basically we all get together, and it's nice to have a group of people like you to hang out with and have fun.
The first thing that I think is really important is having a great psychologist. I've been seeing my psychologist Laura now for about the last 2 years, and she's been absolutely amazing. She specialises in people on the autism spectrum, and yeah, she's just really helped me to believe in myself, to become much more brave and trust in who I am.
We have a lot of therapy over the years, and we've got a service dog.
And I'm going to be telling you about my assistant's dog, Louie. He is in training. He's a woolly coat, not fur. And he loves to roll around in grass and loves to run around in grass.
You know, bringing Chrissy, the service dog, into life has made it a lot easier to go out in public, go to the shops, go for walks, things like that. And some other things that help relax her as well, like when she goes to the swimming or horse riding. And, you know, everyone's different, but you find the different activities that are going to work best for your child.
This year for Spectrospective, I want to talk about how transition support concepts are helping me live independently in my own apartment. I was sometimes having problems remembering to take my medication. My doctor suggested setting an alert on my smartphone. We recorded my dad's voice reminding me to take my medication.
Morgan, it's time to take your medication.
That alert was hard to ignore. But sometimes I took my medication on the wrong day or the wrong time. So we recorded new alerts, one for each day and time.
Morgan, it's time to take your Tuesday evening pills.
That was really helpful.
Autistic people can work, but they are not given a chance because autism is still seen as a collection of symptoms, collection of disabilities, collection of difficulties, as opposed to a person, a full person with some difficulties.
I love working at a big food store because I get everything paid and everything to be done, like cooking the meals and cooking breakfast, lunch, morning tea and afternoon tea.
My name's Eddie, and Steve works with me on this project on Armstrong Creek. Steve is responsible for the sheds, looking after the well-being of the boys, and actually out on site as well.
Currently working in the Green Army, which is an organisation that protects and rejuvenates the environment.
I knew I wanted to come over to Scotland and to visit family that I'd never seen before and to see the beautiful countryside. And when the opportunity came up for a holiday, I knew that it wasn't really going to come up again, and I knew that it was going to be great practice for if I ever want to travel on my own. I was going to be able to get good travel tips to learn how to manage my anxiety and my stress.
I started masters this year and I'm working really hard on exploring my my senses and how I can make being autistic more socially acceptable.
I'm a very passionate autistic self-advocate. I do a lot of work in the community with mentoring people and facilitating autism women's groups and things like that.
The best support I've got often is from the other parents of the other children, and as I am growing into a new identity, now I can support myself, so that is a deep, deep blessing.
Through a lot of intervention and different things we've done for the kids, I think they've just grown into some beautiful young adults who, to this day still have challenges, but they've also got so many wonderful gifts that they can, show people, and they're valuable members of the community.
I'm a carer. I'm a volunteer. I'm an advocate. I'm a disabled person. I am autistic. And I am part of our community.
What I wish that the world knew about autism was that it's about other people bending and being flexible for the autistic community, not the other way around.
I would want them to know that I'm still me, don't baby me or anything, but understand sometimes I'll need to do stuff that you think is silly, but I think I really need to do to not get upset or anything.
I hope that all treatments are gentle and supportive and acknowledging of difference and not trying to make people normal or usual or fit in. We all have to get along in a social world, but get along in a social world on our own terms, in our own strength and identity, that we are who we are and that is just where we need to be.
There's nothing wrong with us. We're not broken, so stop trying to fix this. And when we do say that something is challenging for us, accept that at face value and give us the space to kind of work around that or work through that.
I guess I would say to parents and to people on the autism spectrum, you need to push yourselves, and parents, you need to push your kids.
As carers and parents, we need to be uncomfortable because not everything that our children want are in our comfort zone. And if we only comfortable, then they will miss out on the opportunities that they can pursue.
We just really need spaces where we can have less sensory input and calm down, so a bit of respite so we can come back and keep going.
Not all autistic people are light sensitive, noise sensitive. Not all of them cannot take instructions. Some are more capable than others, but until we explore, we will never know what they're capable of.
So the deep, deep blessing of having my own identity as neurodiverse is that I have taken the shame and taken the trauma of those differences and those losses and turned it into self-love and acceptance and celebrating my difference and working with my difference and being gentle with my difference.
All the bullying throughout the years and the mental health issues I've had have meant that I didn't really love myself, and I think I now really started to love myself.
I'm a great person, I like me, you know, I've actually, after many years not liking me, I like me and I'm happy to be myself, so I'll wear the coloured wigs, you know, I'll get up on stage in the flowery shoes.
I know that my life is a lot more richer and a lot more colourful because of the amazing autistic people that I have in it, and I wouldn't change that.
It's really important to do the things that make you scared because you love them, and to overcome that fear and tell fear, you know what, you're not going to hold me back from doing things that I love. Just remember that you're absolutely amazing and keep doing what you're doing and be brave and push through that anxiety, and you are incredible, you are loved, you're absolutely awesome, so keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for watching the video, hope you have a great day.
A big thank you for watching.
So bye!